fired up. Another week has come and gone. That means you are owed another episode of your favorite podcast. I say it's your favorite. We have no evidence of that, but we make it just for you. It's What's Up Big Rapids. We're your hosts. I'm Chris Jane.
And I'm Pat Brooks.
And before we even get started, we want you to know it doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter what you look like or what you've done. You are a loved and valuable member of this community, and we're going to do everything we can not to waste even a moment of your precious time. Right, Pat?
That's right. Just like every week, we don't waste time. Now's the best time because we're going to get busy. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. Hit the comment button, hit the like, hit the share, send it all out there.
We appreciate
it. Love everyone. Thank you. How you doing?
Doing well. Doing great,
That's
my man.
good.
How about you?
It's been a week, man. I mean, I left you here on Wednesday and did a bunch of prep for the business after hours. That was a lot of work, but it was worth it. I mean, we filled the place. 60, 70, 80 people in there. It was awesome to see a lot of the community, some of the newer investors to the chamber coming out. And then that led into Friday where I went and toured the new
you've been getting
hall, the stadium hall. That
talk
was
about getting your steps
super
in.
Cool. Yeah.
You've been making the rounds with the chamber stuff. Good for you.
Yeah, I think the chamber's doing a really good job of just like making sure that they're showing up and showing out and propping up all these different. I mean, I did some ribbon cuttings. There's some more coming for September.
And the Pioneer's doing a good job of covering all of it.
Yeah.
So you made the front page. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good work.
Thank you to them. I think it's an opportunity to showcase what the event space is that people didn't know. But now, I think introducing that, hey, this is the new home of the Rotary too. So, you can tap into them too. And I think a little bit of cross.
I think that'll be good for Rotary, actually. I don't think it's been great for us being down in the basement. So thank you to Paul Griffith, who was our guest last week.
Yes, thank you, Paul. Paul was at the business after hours.
He's
awesome.
He's a great ambassador for the area, and just one of those people that I'm always happy to see. So thanks for coming on and sharing your passion for the White Pine Trail. And congratulations on getting it completed. Now you basically have to start over.
Get to work again.
Start repaving
Much
sections.
like walking that stadium hall, that was, Dr. Pink, who said hi.
Awesome.
He wanted to make sure he did say hi. He said that was one of his remarks was, all right, now what's next? Because, they're going to get started on that athletic complex soon.
Stopping this current, FSU administration.
They're wrapping up another building.
I know.
We'll talk about that a little bit more
we got a great guest today as well, but we'll get to all of that. You know what? What have I even done since I've seen you? Lots of work. Closed on a house, which is nice. Okay. Great to help people out. Been busy with real estate. If anybody needs help in that area, let me know. but lots of music. Until technically I'm on tour right now with the Michael Allman Band. I know you're looking at me. I'm here. I'm home in Big Rapids, but
he's making the commute.
I'm on.
He's
tour
doing this for you out there.
So 2 more weeks with the Michael Allman Band, and I'll miss it because it's a lot of fun. So
what weather was nice for tie-dye? Are you down there a couple days?
Tie-dye festival
down at Burley Park.
They did a nice job.
I seen some photos, man. Some
those are all
videos.
local people who put that on, and I guess this was their 10th year. I had no idea, and this is only my second or third time playing out there, so I'm still relatively new to it. But 10 years of volunteers putting this thing together. They pick a charity and they bless. I think they bless multiple charities with donations, stuff like that. So it's just
I've seen
a
couple checks for $1,000 for this people, $1,500 for this. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, good cause, and the people who put it on are all local, which is exciting. And there were some great bands, and I had a fun time. Yeah, it's fun. Great weekend.
Awesome. It was my anniversary, so I wanted to say happy anniversary to my wife. 16 years.
Nice job,
She's not
Brandi.
going to see this or watch this.
Yeah, she doesn't watch this.
She does
what are
not
you talking,
watch this.
Pat?
She does not.
She gives it a like every now and then. If this makes it to a reel, she might see it.
Maybe. You are correct. She is a big fan of the reels. She does.
And if our intern happens to clip this, what's up, Derek?
Yeah, hi, Derek.
You're doing a great job, buddy.
Keep it up.
Keep it up.
Call me, because we got some things to chat about. No, never mind. He knows what I'm talking about. Hi. So now you're coming into this week. Anything planned coming up this weekend?
Yeah,
music in
gigs
it?
all weekend. For the next 4 straight nights. Big highlights, I guess, for me. I'll be in Muskegon Friday night with the Kelly Quinn Blues Experience.
Okay.
I love that group. And
Muskegon's a haul, man.
It's a bit of a haul because you can't get there from here. You got to get over there, but not bad. I mean, it seems like a lot of stuff I've been doing lately is a couple hours away, so it is what it is.
So you throw on the audio book? Or,
yeah. Oh my gosh, I've been getting some good
pages down.
audio books.
There you go. That's it. That's what's up.
Another shout out to the library. That Libby app is awesome.
I remember you're like, I live and die by this thing.
I stay borrowing stuff, getting free stuff from the library. So
shout out to
appreciate
Public
them.
Library. I will be at Port for a Purpose on Saturday. That's probably going to be a whole day event. Just getting there kind of early, see if we can help and do what we can from our end, and then just have some fun, see some people, raise some funds for the kid and the Arnie family. And so I'll be there all day. And then I'm with Dom on Sunday morning, maybe even you. Who knows?
I'll be there.
I generally.
Yep, church all day Sunday because we got church.
That's right.
Night of worship.
Night of worship is Sunday night.
Anyway,
so, yeah.
Well, listen. Should we move things along here? We've got such a great guest today. I want to make sure we save plenty of time for it. So before we get to it, though, we got to represent our
featured creature of the week.
So this is. Let me pull up my details here and mute it. It is a puffer.
What are we looking at here? Just a little baby puffer? Oh my gosh.
This is the Spotted Congo Puffer, small, charismatic
freshwater puffer. Is it me or do they look like turtle heads without the bodies?
Look at their little tail.
Tadpoles. They're tadpole, no feet.
A tadpole on a snake head. That's awesome. How big do these guys get?
Yeah, adults typically reach 8 to 10 inches, or 10 centimeters, 3 to 4 inches, so kind of small.
I was going to say 8 to 10 inches is big. Yeah.
Making them some of the smallest of the African freshwater puffers. Can live realistically 8 to 10 years.
Wow.
And they like to maintain in groups.
A few inches for 10 years.
Wow.
Pretty good pet.
And they're cool.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, our video don't show that they puff up, but I'm assuming that they puff up. Or else why would they be called a puffer?
Yeah, well, I'm guessing they got a little bloat to them.
Yeah.
Either way, you guys know where to find this stuff and much, much more. E&E Tropical Fish in Rogers Heights has been a great partner to us. And every time we stop in there, we see new incredible things. So E&E Tropical Fish in Rogers Heights for all your pet needs. Yeah. All right?
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to it. We have been trying... I would say since we started the show and decided, like, hey, we've got something here, we should start having guests on. I wrote down just like 3 or 4 names, and today's guest was on that list way back then. The other names
we built this list.
Yeah, I was going to say we got the other names.
He was busy,
right away.
I'm sure.
But I think timing is everything, and the time was perfect now, and you'll see why in a few minutes. But please. Join us in welcoming the director and founder of the Jim Crow Museum, Ferris's own Dr. David Pilgrim. I think I got it in there. Nice. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm a colleague and friend to President Pink, and he said that he had a wonderful experience here, and that if I did nothing else related to promoting the museum and what we're doing, it should be to be on the show.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Thank you, Dr. Pink.
Thank you, Dr. Pink. That is what we're going for with the show. We want to be the place where people are like, that's the show you want to go on. If you want to make sure people know about
seeing Dr. Pink too, like just the love he shows to us in the community is awesome.
He's a great guy.
So.
We're big fans.
Yes.
So anyway, well, I have been a fan of yours, and also, to be honest with you, somewhat intimidated by you and by this burden you carry, this, this mission that you're on in life, because I was a part of Leadership Macosta.
Okay.
As a younger man,
are they bringing that back? I heard they were bringing Leadership Macosta back. They should. It's awesome.
It's such a great program.
Anyway, sorry.
I tell you what, I grew a lot that year in a lot of ways, but one of our days culminated in a trip to the museum, and it was, it was not easy for any of us, and I think all of us have carried some bit of weight with us since then, and I've tried since then to learn a bit more about so much of what I didn't know, wasn't exposed to, and still feel like I've only begun to scratch the surface of of that. So. so since that day, it's never that far from my mind that museum exists to remind us that this was not that long ago, right? So anyway, that was my my introduction to it, and I wanted to get you on the show so that you could help our audience understand a little bit better just how this came to be, why it's here, and why it's so important today.
Yeah, so that's a lot.
I know.
And by the way, thank you for that. Let me just, if it's okay if I ramble for just a minute.
Go ahead.
Let me try that. The museum is in Big Rapids and at Ferris State University for two, or actually three reasons. Number one, because it was possible. I believe that there are very few universities in this country that would have the courage and the resources to do this, and Ferris is one of them. It's also at Ferris and Big Rapids because of our founder. Woodbridge Ferris was a person committed to what we call justice today, long before we even used the words that you hear today, like social justice. He brought in African Americans to the university in the early 1900s. He had women in the first class.
Right.
He brought in people to talk about what we now would call disability services. He used his own money because we didn't have financial aid in those days to actually pay for the education of people. I mean, he lived a life of well, it sounds trite, but trying to make the world better.
That's awesome.
Indeed, that was the title of his most famous speech, was Make the World Better. And it's become, for us, the museum has become a way. It's sort of an unusual way, but it's become a way to do that, to make the world better. So what we try to do is to create a space where people can have meaningful, productive, even if difficult conversations. This is a topic that not everybody runs to. However, if we're going to be a mature nation, then we have to have mature conversations. I believe that. By the way, I've heard people ask, and I'm looking at the picture you have, like, what's that brown thing that's wrapped around the building? I don't know. Have you got that question from anybody?
Yeah.
We've definitely heard it, yes.
Okay. All right. So the answer is W.B. Du Bois, who was someone who greatly impressed Woodbridge Ferris and myself many, many years later. He had this idea of the veil. It was a metaphor for the gap that existed between black and white people in this country understanding each other. And that we would never really understand each other because, especially when he was alive in the early 1900s, black people were kept behind a veil, right, through segregation. And so his argument was the only way we can improve race is to get on the other side of the veil. And so that for us is a tangible manifestation of a metaphor, which is the veil. Mm. So people, when they come there, they will witness, understand, and heal, right? And so if you're there, you're witnessing and understanding, but in order to do that, you have to go inside. Mm. So you came to the museum years ago. And I'm glad you guys came. I liked meeting with your group every year or every other year when I could. But that museum dealt mostly just with the negative objects. This new facility that we've created is a facility that still has those objects, but spends a great amount of time on pushback. In other words, talking about the ways that African Americans and others push back, either through activism, achievement, or just living their lives with everyday dignity. And that's a real important part of this new facility. So it's really about telling stories. Not coincidentally, one of the new spaces in the museum will be a story sharing space. And so, the unfortunate thing is when we die, and we all do, when we die, most of us take our stories with us. Some people write books, some write plays and whatever, but most people don't. And so we have a studio in there where people can tell their stories. And 50 years from now, 100 years from now, people can learn from those stories. So I'll stop this rant this way, which is sometimes I hear people saying like why? First of all, why is it here? And secondly, why now? And my answer, and I try not to be flippant, but my answer is there's never a bad time to learn more.
Amen.
About the past. There's never a bad time to be more intelligent about where we've been. There's
Absolutely.
never a bad time to do it. There are some times that are better, that are easier than others, that are more convenient than others, that are cheaper than others, that are less painful than others. But there's never a bad time to do it. And so I like the fact that Ferris, which has this outstanding history of inclusion, creates a space where we're going to have people from all over the world come here. I was talking to the mayor the other day, and I said to him, I was joking, I guess I was joking, when I said, I think I should get a cut of the hotels in town because people come to the museum, they're going to have to stay somewhere, they're going to have to eat somewhere, they're going to get gasoline, they're going to get foods. He agreed with me that they are going to get those things, but not so much that get anything. So maybe I should join. Maybe I should join the chamber and then make my case there. But the point is that it will be a destination. It will be a destination site. Even our grand opening, I think, will be September the 30th at 1:00 will be the big event that people are invited to. I think for that event, the hotels will be full and the people will be in this town. And I like the idea. I said this many years ago, and it sounded so silly and immodest when I said it. I mean, this must have been 25 years ago. Someone asked me a question in an interview about what was my ultimate goal. And I said, well, I'm not sure about that, but I am sure about this, that one day I want people at Harvard and Princeton and Brown, I want them asking, what are the people at Ferris thinking about these topics? And at the time, it just seems, like impossible. But we've had Henry Louis Gates come from Harvard, and we've had people from other places come. And I think that we have a wonderful opportunity to be a place where national associations, conferences of police officers and politicians and church groups and others come, and not just nationally, but internationally.
Well, okay, so amazing. Thank you so much for filling us in on the backstory of Woodbridge Ferris. We know a lot of great things about him, but thank you for highlighting some of the things that he did that were really outside the norms for the time. So we know now a little bit about why the museum's here. I think the other reason, though, is because you're here.
Yeah, that was actually the third. I said the first and the second. I didn't give the third. Yes.
Where did this start for you? How did this collection begin? When did this mission start?
So I was born in Harlem. You don't really like an answer most of the time when the person starts with "I was born," because you got a lot of time, right? So, but I was born in Harlem. Had some family drama, so I ended up being reared in Alabama. And so here I was, this multiracial, not in the sense that most people think of multiracial, but mostly African, Venezuelan, and indigenous, but looking this way, right? And growing up in the Deep South, and at a time where Jim Crow was still in the books and still in practice, but on its way out. And so growing up, this multiracial kid in a segregated world, I thought about race all the time. And so I just started, even as a young person, just looking at these objects. And I think it's fairly well known, the story of the first object that I had some engagement with, which was something I bought at a fair type event and broke. If you can think of something like Burley Park, which I've been to 1,000 times and have bought stuff from 1,000 times, it would have been like one of the dealers where you just go see something on the table and buy it. I always tell people it must have been cheap because I didn't have much money.
Right.
I don't remember anything that happened after that, but I remember a kind of fascination. And so by the time I got to high school, I was just trying when I could to find pieces here and there. And then when I got to college, I went to Jarvis Christian College, a historically black college in Hawkins, Texas. And there I learned a couple things. And one of them was that the sort of importance of objects as teaching tools, because a couple of my teachers did it. And I also learned more about Jim Crow, right? So people would tell their own stories about growing up in the 30s and 40s.
Can you tell us how is Jim Crow defined when we use that term? What does it mean for us?
So the easiest way to think of Jim Crow would be a way of life that's stratified so that you have whites at the top and blacks and others at the bottom. And so in all things that matter, the law, media, churches, the government, everything, education especially, that there would be separation. And sometimes it's legal and sometimes it's tradition, but it's just the hardcore separation. So a lot of people, when they think of Jim Crow, they only think of the laws. But the reality is during the Jim Crow period, I mean, the etiquette, the sort of everyday social etiquette, the norms, they were as important as the laws were, right? Now, we know today, for example, that Emmett Till did not do what he was accused of doing.
Correct.
But whistling at a white one, which apparently he did not do, we found out many years later, but that would have been violating the etiquette.
Right. That would have been justification for what was done to him.
Yes. Me lighting, first of all, don't smoke. But me lighting a white person's cigarette would have been, because anything that implied that we were the same and equal would have been. Yeah. So that's what Jim Crow was. It was everyday everything. And then so you get to like the 50s and 60s and you start seeing the attacks on Jim Crow, the legal Jim Crow, or what I would call de jure Jim Crow, started. So you started having like the Voting Rights Act, or the 1964 Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act that occurred the next year, the Residential Act that occurred 3 years after that. Those were attacks on Brown versus the Board of Education, which was before any of those. Right. Those were attack on legal Jim Crow.
Yep. Right.
And but of course, what happens is if you change the idea has always been in this country, maybe everywhere, that if you change the laws, it will eventually change people's behaviors. And right. But almost always there is that period of real intense conflict. And of course, America, you saw that. That's why we had a civil rights movement and the like, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So today, now I do hear, people saying, well, they talk about the new Jim Crow, and they mean they mainly mean mass incarceration. What I pride the Ferris Jim Crow Museum about is that we're, and Bill said this when he was on here, that we're an educational institution. So our focus is education. Our focus is accuracy. And so it's not, it's kind of hard these days where everything's been politicized, but for us, it's like a huge classroom. And so it's just to get it right? Mm. So what happened in the past and how does it impact us today? And that's where the discussions come. And one of the things I tell people that I think they forget, or they used to forget when they walked in the old place, was that just because something's in this facility does not mean it's racist. It means it helps us talk about race.
Okay.
Yep. And what we want to do is to use those pieces for conversations. So one of the greatest things to happen to me in my life, you didn't ask this question, but I'll throw this out there. There was a church in Cleveland, which was a historically black church or predominantly black church. And then there was a church, I forget the name of there's a suburb that's right outside, starts with an S, but I can't think of the name of it. Strongville or something like that, Strongsville. Anyway, they were two churches. One was almost all black, one was almost all white. And they came to the Jim Crow Museum. They brought their church leadership there because they wanted to have a discussion about race, because they didn't want it to be a space, those to be spaces where the others weren't invited.
Right.
So we came and we used some. We had some of the greatest conversations you could imagine. They weren't conversations to condemn people. They weren't conversations to make people feel bad. They were just conversations where we listened to other folks. And so realizing that when somebody looks at this object, they see one thing and someone else sees something else, even though they're from the same city.
That's important.
Right? Yeah. And so what we can do though is listen, right? And you can say, okay, well, when you look at this, what is it you see?
Right. Through your lens.
Yeah, through your lens. And so I think I mean, America has a lot of challenges right now, but I believe this is the path forward. I believe this is a good path forward, which is where real conversation.
Right.
And not conversation that just occurs because there's been a national tragedy of some sort, but a sort of ongoing,
especially when it lines up with a narrative we're already very interested in pushing.
Yes. And so, having ongoing dialogues. So someone asked me one time, they're like, how long are we going to be talking about blacks and whites in this country? I was like, how long are we going to be talking about men and women? I mean, I couldn't even imagine one day, and I'm married too, so I certainly couldn't imagine it. But I could imagine one day saying to my wife, so let's not ever talk about men and women. I mean, the fact of the matter is we're going to always be talking about a lot of things. The trick is not to stop talking about it, is to talk about it better.
Change what we're talking about. Yeah.
And as odd as it may sound, as unusual as it appears from the outside, what we've discovered is that we can create a space with those objects, especially now that we have the, quote, redemptive pieces to go along with it. We can create spaces where people can have better conversations.
Well, I want to go back to these objects. So when you found that first piece and you broke it, was it because you just wanted the world to be rid of it? Were you angry? Did it make you angry? And then why didn't you break the second and the third and the fifth and the 10th? And how did this collection grow from there?
Yeah, I wish I had a better story. I first of all, like I said, I was like 10, 11, or 12, so there's no telling why I did anything that I did.
You were compelled to buy it. You were compelled to break it.
Yeah, I did. And by the way, I've been telling people for years that I bought that.
Oh, you might stop.
I mean, there is at least the outside chance that I just picked it up and threw it down.
Right.
So it was.
Sorry, whoever's it was.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Sorry.
I'm sure that person has gone on to their reward because this was a long time ago.
Right.
The irony here, and I'll get to your question. I'm sorry, but the irony here, or coincidence, is that what I believe to have been the type of thing I bought, which would have been, broke, was a little mammy, like salt and pepper type thing. When you come into the new museum, there might be 500 of those all stacked together. So it's like, oh my goodness, not only did I not break all of these, I collected every one in the country, right? So I don't know, for much of my life, I didn't know what I was going to do with my collection. And there were things that happened. Life is not a straight line. It's up and down, it's sideways, it's some backward, some forward. And when you get older, and I do write, and I have written about some of these things, you start realizing there were these important times. Like when I first got to Ferris, there was an African-American woman who had a collection. She was an antique dealer. She was, 30, 40 years, 50 years my senior. I got to know her. She wouldn't let me see her real collection for a long time because she said that I would want it. I promised her, if you let me see it, I'm not going to want it. She let me see it, and of course I wanted it. Yeah. I mean, I think she was like, it was in a barn, not the barn where, I think she was in Howard City or Newaygo, one of them. But she had a barn which was her store, but then she had the other barn with her stuff in it. It was from ceiling to floor to ceiling, just every piece you could imagine. Things I've never seen, haven't seen since, things I had seen. Just, it was, what I felt was so profound, but I think it planted the seed of a museum in me.
I see.
Because the idea was, at least in my mind, even though it wasn't completed in my head.
You saw the power of that much stuff displayed.
Of a ton of objects. Yeah. And I remember,
sounds like you felt it too when you walked in. That's important.
But I knew that it was lacking context, and so and even the space that when you visited us years ago did not have as much context as we. The current space is going to be so well contextualized. I hope that a person can walk through and not even though we'll have docents there, they won't need one. So I think that was one of those moments where it was like, oh my goodness, didn't realize it at the time, but that, and by the way, she passed away. I went out to do some work in California. And while I was out there, she passed away, and her children sold her stuff back onto the market for pennies on the dollar. And so that's the sad epilogue, to the story. But But the other part is that I love that I met her. I love that God put her in my life for just a second, and we had a great conversation, and that she planted that seed.
Yeah. And then about what year was the museum founded?
So at Ferris, they gave me a little room, which is 500 square feet, in like the early 90s.
Now, is that where the women's?
Yeah, I actually
What's
started.
the name of that? I wanted to give them a plug.
The Museum of
Sexist
Objects.
Objects.
Yeah.
MoSo.
Yeah,
That's a real thing, gang.
It is a real thing,
That's a real
I
place.
actually collected those pieces too.
I heard that's your collection, and it's a good collection. It's just a start. Like you said, it's 500 square feet of stuff.
Yeah,
but it tells a story.
Yeah, absolutely.
You do one lap around, and you know.
Yeah. So what happened with that was I was at a conference in New Orleans, and I saw a piece that defamed a female politician, and I remember something Martin Luther King has said, which is injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And I was like, I should be collecting other stuff too. As a matter of fact, in our new place that we're building, there is a section in there on other groups.
Cool.
It's not as large as it could be, but
just to give you or make the point that this is not isolated. And if you can dehumanize or make somebody seem less than, then you can take away rights.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, now listen. This man is a treasure. We could just keep going, but really let's turn it now to the new facility, because I want people. We're here to promote it. I want people to know about it. We have some images of some of the construction and stuff like this. So tell us about how it went. So you went from 500 square feet to the place that maybe a lot of people are familiar with, that was by the Card Wildlife Center. How in my mind,
it was in flight.
In flight.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what were the conversations, or how did this become a reality, where this incredible facility?
Yeah. So what you're seeing in that picture, I think, is part of the archival part of the new museum, and there's no other way.
Those look like stacks, motorized stacks.
Those are that's. So here's the dig. Just to be honest, we were not safe in that museum. We had floods.
That's right.
Yeah, we had floods in there. Multiple floods. We actually lost some pieces that I collected as a teenager. Right?
What a shame.
Yeah. So we needed to be good stewards of we have people giving us stuff from all over the world. I don't want to accept things if we can't display them and or preserve them. And so that was one of the big motivations for wanting to move. Also, we went from say 6,000-7,000 pieces to probably 30,000 pieces.
Over what time frame and how?
From probably the last decade.
And that's from people just finding out you exist and be like,
website.
Thank goodness,
I think the website.
Here's a place.
Yeah, the website helped, but it also every time I got on some national TV show, immediately.
Is it a relief for some people to find out that they can give their things to you and have it out of their home?
I've been protecting this for years.
I know that's true, because once we got full, and by full I mean not that we don't have the place, we just couldn't accept stuff anymore. I started reading some of the comments from various sites, and people were upset that we weren't accepting things.
Yeah.
So we will start accepting pieces again. By the way, if you go back to that colorful image for a minute, I want to just say one quick thing about that. But when we open, we're going to start accepting pieces again. By the way, that room right there with that very colorful mural in there.
Is that paint?
Mosaic? No, it's
glass.
Well, it's more. No, it's like sheets of fabric with lights behind it.
Right.
And that room is going to be a room of healing. It's a room of discussion and healing.
Good.
And so that's what that is. Because when people would go to the other room, the smaller museum we were just in, they would leave wanting, well, what now? Kind of thing. Well, this is a space where we help with the question of, how do we help our community? How do we help our neighborhood, our community, our city, our county, our state, our nation, and the world, right? In other words, how do we live out the legacy and, in my opinion, the mandate of Woodbridge Ferris, which is he built that institution with the goal. Yeah, it was a business, but he built it to make the world better. And so part of it is to have those conversations in there.
Absolutely.
This picture is blurred on purpose, by the way.
It's blurred on purpose.
So you're going to have to go check it out.
Franklin Hughes did that. So that people would still have a reason to come that we wouldn't show everything. And by the way, what a wonderful team I have. I mean, we are small. People always say we're small but mighty. Dr. Elise Gramza, who's doing everything. Cindy Teed, who's doing everything. We have Joshua, is it Belgian, who's doing it. Matter of fact, everybody, what am I doing? I mean, at this point, everybody's doing everything.
You did the groundwork.
We did the groundwork. We had Colleen Green, Dr. Green, who's come over here. We've had so many people.
Don, this is really good reel here.
Rockford Construction.
There you are, looking.
Yeah, Rockford has done a good
something.
job. Yep. They gave me my own helmet.
Yeah.
Now, what I have discovered is people don't like me supervising construction.
I know that young man. That's great.
That's awesome.
Well, listen, I've got 2 questions. Pat, you got?
I do. Yeah. So as much as I think is the impact of everything on the inside, I want to speak to what it looks like from the outside, because it is stunning. I think it's placed in a part of this city that's really going to be eye-catching and going to be hard for people to ignore. Can you talk about it looks so how modern. That conversation happened with where we were going to put it and why we decided to put it there and why it looks the way it does?
Yeah, so the credit for that goes to my former supervisor and the president of Ferris, Dr. David Eisler, who made the decision to put it in the front of the campus, and that would send a message to the world that this is important to the university.
Yeah, we're not hiding this in a basement anymore.
No.
I think that was probably one of my favorite things outside of can't wait to get in there, but is the impact that. Yeah, I mean, without even going in, people are going to know.
Flight Library
they're going to feel something.
Was a modern-looking building,
right?
And now this just looks like a piece of art next to it.
And I think, you got Flight, you got this, you got the new tech building, you got the new stadium hall. I mean, when you get to that light, man, Ferris is really,
coming up.
It really is.
Well, if we could get the sun to do what it's doing every day, this would be perfect.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think there will be plenty of beautiful days there. What do people need to know? I guess I've got two questions that maybe we can answer in one, and we'll let you go. How can people get involved if they want to help? And what should people know before they show up to the Jim Crow Museum for the first time? What would it be helpful for people to sort of to know going in?
Sure. So one thing is I want people to show up on September the 30th, right? Because we're going to put on a program that I think they would be pleased and proud to be a part of. So that's that. The next day at 10 o'clock, I'm going to do a kind of question and answer thing. And so if any question that people have, I mean, that I'm just going to be in that room, that fancy room that had that...
The healing room.
Yeah, the healing room. And then the rest of the day it's going to be tours. And so, not everything in life is going to be exactly the way you want it. The reality is that once we open, we are going to have a small entry fee. And because we got to, pay the bills, if you would, right? And so, but I managed to keep it small. So for people that are not members of Ferris, students or teachers, right, it'll be $10 to come in. But if you want to come in and not pay that, the time to do it would be the September the 30th or October the 1st, right? So that's just some housekeeping things. The other part of it is, if you ask me, what would I want a person to do? I used to tell my students when I taught sociology that the best way for me to have learned is to suspend judgment, to just assume nothing, or as best as I can. It's hard when you're a human to do that, right? But to just don't assume the teacher is trying to convince you that they're proselytizing you, that they're doing anything. Just listen to what they're saying. And then now, after they're done, go to the library and figure out if what they're saying is true or whatever. So I would want people to come in with an open mind and just come in with a willingness to see what's there. And I think if people do that, I mean, it's weird for me to say, and I don't want it to sound like false modesty, but I just think that they're going to be really impressed with the way we do it. Dr. Gramza was saying to me when we were on the way over here that, we did we're doing a good job. That it's going to be, people are going to leave there not just talking about the contents. They're going to leave there, I think, talking about the way it's done. I mean, that's so professionally done.
Good. What a great opportunity. Awesome. What a great opportunity to build something like this. And I imagine that the conversations and the dreaming and the scheming and the planning and must have been so much fun and taken so many different roads. Do you work with when you're looking to curate a museum like this, and like you said, whereas its predecessor was focused more on the collection of negative objects, this one is telling stories and shaping maybe or pointing towards a better future. Did you do all of that internally? No, I was going to say, who do you call when you're going to build an awesome museum? Do you reach out to the Smithsonian? I mean, what do you do?
Well, we had a process. We had companies interview, and we ended up with a company called Howard Reeves out of Washington, D.C. Okay. And so we spent the last 5 years arguing with them about everything because we have strong opinions about, we think this should go over here, and we think it should be here, and so we had, and I say that teasingly, but also the fact that there are creative, sort of energies that go into like how do you do that? So we did that for 5 years or so.
Awesome.
And now those are the main exhibits. So we have like 10 or 12 main exhibits. The visual storage, that was mostly several of us just kind of like trying to figure out what was in my head and how to make it not be in my head. But
how much fun.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I was actually thinking, it was in there the other day looking at this long row of visual storage. And I looked at a couple parts of it, and I thought to myself, this is exactly what it looked like in my head.
Congratulations.
I mean, without compromise, because so much of life is compromise, right? Yeah. And it's like, wow, that's exactly how I imagined that would look.
Good.
So the other parts, not as much. I mean, the other parts is whole teams of people.
Sure.
But
you know what I mean? I mean, this is a legacy that I don't think you do compromise on something like that. No. So I think that's fantastic that you've gotten to work with them to build it. I can't wait to see it. I'm definitely going to be there September 30th at 1:00. Yep. And then does it start around 1:00 on October 1st as well?
No, October the 1st, we'll open up like 9:00 in a day, and I'll do a little talk at 10:00. Right on. And then that day is really just to be an open facility so people can come in.
Awesome.
And I'm hoping too that I'm pretty sure we'll have media from all over the country.
I would imagine so.
You guys would be my favorite media there.
We got the scoop.
The first time we opened the other place in 2012, we were a worldwide trending story, and that was a little facility, and that was 2012. And I'll always remember it because I did not know what trending meant.
Right.
And someone had to explain it to me. And by the time they explained it to me,
that word was
we weren't
trending. I didn't even know.
We weren't trending anymore.
Yeah. No, seriously. No. That's pretty close. I mean, we had gone from being like 16th or something in the world to like 2,000 in the world by the time it took them to explain it to me.
That's so funny.
I mean, the London Telegraph ran a poll about whether or not we should have this museum, which I thought was hilarious. But this, obviously, we've had an opportunity to, quote, build a brand.
Yeah.
And we've had an opportunity to learn from the smaller space we were in. And we had dreams like, well, if we had more room, we could tell this story. If we had more room, we could do this. If we had more, well, now we have more room. Mm-hmm. And so we've tried to do those things.
Well, I'm so happy for you and your team. Thank you guys so much for doing this work and doing it right here in Big Rapids, where we all can kind of get to be proud by association. And
I can't wait to walk in.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Absolutely. So that's coming up in, we got 5-ish weeks, gang, until This thing is open. It's coming soon.
We'll remind people a couple times.
We will bring it up. But until then, thank you, Dr. Pilgrim.
Yeah,
thank you. For being part. I've really been looking forward to this, and it's been a great conversation. So thanks for being a great guest. Hang out for us. We're going to talk local stuff. Feel free to weigh in on anything. Pat, what do we got coming up?
All right. So it is. It's kind of a lot of the same. So we're gonna cruise through this. We're coming down to the back end of our Pocket Park series. Of course, the Thursday night concert series started last month. We'll continue this week with Peter Jordan and his Lovin' Crow.
You know what? I want to just say how much I appreciate the city and the DBA. Other communities, struggle to put on maybe farmers market music or something like this, and here we've got the Bandshell concerts, which is the last one tonight, or was that last week?
It was last week.
So with the Bandshell concert series we've got the Pocket Park concert series on the during the farmers market. We've got Thursday nights, which I think I'm playing there next week.
You are there next week, yep.
Next week. So High Strung Steel will be out there. I promise you that's going to be a good show. We've got some cool stuff coming up, but lots of good live music coming out, so you guys know where to find that stuff.
Yeah, the second one is our the Balsam brothers are back in town.
Gosh.
They'll be here this weekend. Our Friday rather. This is
Friday at noon
to 2.
That is a good band.
Yeah, that is a very good band. Hopefully, I can get down there, man. I'm gonna have last like 3 weeks. I wanted to get down there.
I'm gonna have to force myself to go down there and see it before I've got to leave town to go to my own.
Before you hit up Pocket Park, though, I recommend running on over to Whipped and Dipped, as they are giving the first 200 people.
What?
First 200 people an 8-ounce signature pudding cup.
This Friday.
This Friday.
Dang, starting
I believe
at 10
they open at 10. And you got
too early for
a different. That is awfully early for pudding, but
it's never too early for pudding.
That's right, Dominic. That is right. But
now, could you spin that as a protein? Like
if you bring like a protein,
is there protein in Oreos, Chris?
There's probably some chocolate, something.
They got some new flavors, and they're really just one per person.
Is cocoa a protein?
No purchase necessary. So. It is also a busy weekend here in town. It
sure is. You know what?
Go ahead.
The Big Damn Bike Ride we've been promoting, they had to cancel that.
Oh, they did.
They got canceled. So hey, one less thing on the calendar for this.
To be fair, Saturday. If we don't talk about it, then our listeners don't know it's canceled.
Yeah,
right?
that got canceled.
They get all their news from us.
Check the site for more information.
I did talk about Port for Purpose again. This starts around the 2:00 time. I heard there's a cornhole tournament that starts really early. She had talked about it on the show. Head on over to their Facebook page. I'm pretty sure that might start at 10 o'clock. So, but everything else is around, start showing up around noon to 2. So, we also talked about this because Labor Day is right around the corner. The Big Rapids Labor Day Festival, hosted by the Band of Locals. This will be downtown Big Rapids, 10 to 4. Tons of vendors. There will be that live music function that this city does a wonderful job of doing. Food court, as well as kids zones and things for kids, car shows, all that type of stuff.
Yep. Depending on what time they play, I'm planning to join Raised on Radio and play some percussion.
Very cool.
Been a while since I got to see those guys. So
we're doing actually like a multi-family indoor sale that whole weekend at the Band of Raccoon. Somebody rented it, and so we're going to run it right through Monday.
Wow. That's awesome.
Why not? We got some 5Ks coming up. There's September 19th.
Been a while since we've done anything. We've done any exercise.
I think that was the last race that we did. It was the Skeleton Scurry.
It's the Skeleton Scurry.
Speaking of which, I'll do with you if you want to do it again, or if you want to do this one.
I plan on doing this one. I will be at Hemlock Park Saturday, September 19th.
I was feeling strong yesterday.
For the 5K. Know what it
was.
Well, that's good, because last time we ran with you,
I was on a scooter.
You were on a scooter.
I got hit by a car.
Yeah. I got hit by a car. That's why.
I got hit by a car. I could barely walk.
Your scooter was rolling.
The scooter was going like.
We were convicts.
Yeah. For some reason, most days I wake up and I'm like, creaky, cracking, creaking. For some reason, yesterday someone was like, huh. I noticed at least 3 times yesterday that my legs didn't hurt. That's how old I am.
Take note of those days.
I was gonna say, man, I feel
Circle
good
this day
today.
on the calendar.
Yeah.
I almost did. I was like, what could I do with this? What could I do with it? I did nothing. I did nothing out of the ordinary.
Pat sneezed and he can't walk for a week.
Yeah. Yeah. Res Run, September 19th, 9 a.m. or 9 a.m. They 5K, 10K, and half K
What's
marathons.
This for, Dom? Is this just for community building?
This benefits our Brother's Keeper.
Okay, cool.
So all the proceeds from this race will go toward our Brother's Keeper shelter right here in Big Rapids.
So you can build community, get your steps and your exercise in, and do some good.
I might have signed up some people that normally don't do 5Ks to run these ones. Because there's that one, and then the Pioneer put this out there on Halloween. It's a little ways out, but I figured I'd let people know they are signing up. So the 5K Run, Walk, Roll, brought to you by the Pioneer, benefiting Angels of Action.
That's usually well attended. So
on the heels of Res, though, I did want to talk about this real quick because people will be at Cardinal Stadium on Friday night as they kick off the football season, and they'll look behind them and see that there's a huge project going on. We talked about it a little bit 2 weeks ago, but this is...
A lot of dirt being moved out there.
A lot of dirt.
The Res Life Church, we should get Pastor Ross here on sometime in the next couple months to talk about it. This is going to be a long project, so this is going to be ongoing, but Res Life has been talking about building... They were saying they were going to break ground. Well, they have broken ground.
And they are moving it.
The ground has been broken. They're building a, how big is this thing going to be?
It'll be about 20,000 square feet.
They're doing a 20,000 square foot addition. Major problem or project that they've been. It's a good problem. It's a major problem. Yeah, it's a majorly good problem to have. Yeah. They've been working towards this. They built extra parking to kind of get ready for it. And
I had to walk from down.
Yeah, it's going to be. I've been walking from down there too
this weekend.
I tell you what, it's a little less convenient when you're carrying gear and stuff like that. But
I see. I parked right next to your car, and I was like, man.
But you know what? Who are we to complain?
It's about the
I was just saying how
you're
strong
prepping for a 5K.
That's right.
Maybe that's why you felt so good on Tuesday.
That's right. It's because I got the extra movement in.
Also, September 19th, brought to you by the CVB in conjunction with Artworks and Ferris. They are Chalking the Walk.
I love this.
Chalk drawing and art competition on the Riverwalk. So while I'm running a 5K, you're going to try and... No, this is after. But yeah, they're going to do like a drawing competition
which is
with
fantastic.
sidewalk chalk.
I'm just hoping that the weather cooperates and that the art gets to stay on the Riverwalk for at least a few days.
There's 3 different groups, so 13 to 17 with permission, solo 18 and up, and then you can also grab a couple friends and go do a group 2 to 5.
They're giving prizes away to... solo artists, 13 to 17 or 18 and up. So that's 2 groups. And then group artists. So you can even do this with your buddies, 2 to 5 people of any age. So your family or whatever can work on one section, make some art together. How cool is that?
For a chance to win an art-related prize.
Speaking of art, we announced last week that we're going to keep the What's Up Big Rapids logo T-shirt design contest going, but that we were awarding the first top prize to Skylar Callendar for this incredible design.
I know she definitely found out because she was tagged.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good, because we.
I thanked her.
Good. We gotta make sure she gets her prize.
She signs off the rights on this. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say because this is her design, and we want to definitely make it into a T-shirt. It's an incredible line drawing of tons of details about the life around Big Rapids. So.
I love it.
What else, buddy?
We talked about OBK and the Res Run benefiting them. That evening is the Brothers Blue Jean Ball. This will be hosted at St. Mary's, I believe. Yeah, St. Mary's Parish. And it looks like it is a big fundraising event for our Brother's Keeper. There are tickets to be sold, steak dinner.
Yeah, they got a DJ,
silent auction,
food,
all
the whole thing.
All those types of things. So it's kind of cool. Starting at 5 p.m. So go find this event. You can get $22 tickets or $25 at the door. That's fun. And then
all right.
we talked about that. So
awesome. Well, I think it's plenty for this week anyway. We appreciate you guys so much, and we thank Dr. Pilgrim for being here with us today, representing the new improved Jim Crow Museum right here at Ferris State University in Big Rapids, Michigan. It's the only Big Rapids in the world, and yet another reason to be proud of living here. Now we do have some unfortunate news to share with you guys. You guys know by now, I'm sure, of the passing of the great Dolly Parton. just
national treasure,
beloved. Truly a great human being, start to finish. The stories
just
about
giving
her,
back nonstop.
legendary.
Yes.
Often I think about her, and when she, the way that she carried herself in business early on. There are several stories that I think about all the time. So that's tough, and we've got we want to show something. But just before we sat down to record this episode, children, brace yourselves. We've lost Tim Curry. We've lost...
children probably don't know who Tim Curry is. I'm just going to put that out there.
Children, let me tell you.
The first It is passed
Home
away.
Alone 2, the concierge, the guy running the hotel, the villain.
The villain, actually.
You know, besides Pesci and... the wet bandits.
Man, those are antagonists. He's the villain.
Yeah, actually, they were the sticky bandits in that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
right.
Tim Curry passed, and
80 years old.
Yeah, it's got me wondering what's next.
Time's catching up to us.
Yeah,
I think that's what
time
is.
is not on our side.
No.
Yeah,
it just seems like there's somebody, a couple weeks ago, was it Hayden Panettiere last week, and
you're right.
Just these people that we've either grown up watching or we've watched and entertained us.
You know what? Check in on your friends.
Yeah.
Check in on your loved ones. Sit and hear some stories of maybe some older people, and because like Dr. Pilgrim was telling us, that's really probably maybe the most valuable thing we have to share is our stories. So. You're the only you that we've got. Please don't leave us without it. Well, what do you have for us, buddy?
So it looks like Dom sent us over a Dolly Parton's 9 to 5.
Okay.
Played at Changing the Guard at Buckingham Palace.
Let's play it and see if we don't get... This would have
been, yesterday?
If we don't get flagged.
Or this morning?
Oh, yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
I think we only get about 10 seconds, though.
I'll just do this over top. And maybe that'll change enough.
What if I mute it halfway through? But I seen like, the one thing I thought really caught my eye was Eminem shared a letter that Dolly had wrote him. They never even met, but that she was fully endorsing him going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and all these things. So it's really cool.
And I sent us that video. I was just really impressed with the fact that she was an American country music artist. She impacted obviously so many young children through her literacy programs here in America. But the fact that that all the way across the pond,
the palace
her impacted.
Yeah,
yes,
that's incredible.
The impact of her life, and for stupid videos of the week.
Okay,
Pat has one more for us.
This
good
stuff, man.
We wouldn't be a dumb update if we didn't get
these videos, man.
This was
what am I watching?
You're watching a weightlifting robot go absolutely bonkers.
Oh no!
So over the weekend in Beijing, there was the Robot Olympics. Where this is just one of the many.
They're literally putting him on a stretcher. Why don't they just put him in a bin?
So some people see the one where the guy's running a 100-meter dash.
Put him in a wheelbarrow.
And he just keeps running. He runs right through the
into
wall.
the wall. Yes.
Did you see the karate one where they kicked a kid?
We showed that on here. They kicked the kid. But I seen one where the robot.
That's not very much weight either.
No.
Like I wouldn't have even been impressed.
This doesn't make me as worried about the robots when I see them that they can't lift any weight.
It's still early.
It's still early. Yeah. Careful what you say about the robots, Ray.
This is if they made a prequel to the prequel of Terminator.
There you go.
We welcome our future leaders and overlords.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Is that it for us, Dominic?
That's
any corrections? We didn't say anything stupid all day? It doesn't sound
No, we don't clock those.
Oh, I was going to say, because that doesn't sound like us. All right, well, listen, it's been a great week, and what else can we say? Kids, it's What's Up Big Rapids. We're your hosts. I'm Chris Jane.
And I'm Pat Brooks.
Remember, kindness is contagious. Get out there and be the example you want to see in the world. We're all watching. We're rooting for you. All right? Dominic, let's hit it.
See you next week.